Hi guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Tonight actually, we have a dual unboxing. I guess I should have had them both ready, eh? So we have a dual unboxing. And I have an idea what one of them is. I've been getting a lot of really good deals lately, and I can't really say no when a great deal pops up, especially on something I've been watching. So before we talk about the fragrances, let's open them up and see what we get. I think I have a pretty good idea of what's in each of these, but I'm not actually 100% sure. So this will be a little bit of an adventure. So I've got my handy dandy knife, my unboxing knife. It's even, look at that, it's got a design on it. This knife's ready to rock and roll. And let's pop this first bad boy open. Okay, this is what I thought it is. So let me get this out. I'll just get rid of the box. Okay, so here we go. All bubble wrapped. And I basically bought these in bulk. I've been doing a lot of bulk buying lately because I'm able to, negotiate some better pricing. And, you know, I'm all for a deal. When you're a collector, you have to go for a deal. So I think this guy wanted $25 a pop. This is a fragrance called R de Capucci. And this is the EDT. These are 10 mils, okay? And I ended up getting 5 of them. So I got 50 mil, and I ended up getting them for 20 bucks a pop, which for an old discontinued fragrance, whatever. It is supposedly, again, this is the first time I've ever smelled this, so this is a first impression, if you will, because we're going to smell this bad boy tonight. Supposedly, it is very similar to a fragrance which is near and dear to my heart that I truly love. And that is Smalto Pour Homme, the classic. This is Italian oak moss in a bottle. I absolutely love Smalto Pour Homme. It came out in, when did it come out? I'm not up to date on my Smalto history. 1987. So it came out a couple years after I was born, and this has this beautiful 1980s, you know, fougere, green, spicy fougere. It's got anise, or aniseed. It has rosemary. Gives you a slight hint of Paco Rabanne, Pour Homme. It's a fougere feel, but what this has that I really love is it has this Italian leather in the base, which is absolutely beautiful. And it's done in the Italian style. So it's very bright and optimistic, forward-looking. I love this fragrance. I only have one bottle, but it is 100 ml. So I'm very glad to have this bottle because apparently they're getting harder and harder to find. And the oak moss in this is just absolutely lovely. So let's see how close R de Capucci is. Let me just open one of these. Actually, before I do that, let's see what's in this one. If this isn't a fragrance, I'm going to feel like an idiot. I'm pretty sure it's a fragrance. I mean, it looks like a fragrance. And let's just see what we're up against here. Let's do a double take here. Oh, yes. Okay. So we're not going to smell this one today because I'm saving this one because I am going to do a comparison. This is a 10 ml decant. Yeah, 10 ml decant of Bijan Men EDT. So I have the current version. I bought a tester for very cheap. And the tester that I have is 5 Star Fragrances is the distributor. This is distributed by, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that because it's damn small. Bijan Fragrances. It says it right there. I've got my contacts in so I can see it. So I'm going to hold off on smelling this because I'm going to do a comparison video between this, which is the vintage, and the current formulation of Bijan Man. I got a great deal on this too, so I just couldn't say no. I mean, these little 10 mLs are beautiful for me, and this is the vintage. So very excited about this, but this will come in a later video, let's say. So let's focus on Art de Capucci today. Now, I should mention, Art de Capucci was created by Francois Caron, who did a couple amazing fragrances for houses like Caron. She did Third Man, Les Trois Hommes, and she did a fragrance from Charles Jourdan, which I absolutely love, called Un Homme, Charles Jourdan Un Homme in 1980. And so this is how these come, apparently. I've never seen these before. And voila, Robert Capucci. And these are the EDTs. These little 10 mLs are awesome. These are perfect for me. And so she's done some fragrances which I really like. You know, she's done some really top-notch work. The inside of the packages has the Robert Capucci. I don't know if this is even a house anymore. I'm not sure, but you can see it's the vintage. It only has a couple ingredients listed. Alcohol, fragrance, and pure water. Well, thank God it's pure. I like the box. It's very of its time. This is a 1985 release, I believe. Yeah, 1985. And the notes are basically clary sage, green notes, which who knows what that means. Petit Gras, bergamot, Amalfi lemon, carnation, mandarin orange, aldehydes, rose, jasmine, oak moss, leather, vetiver, patchouli, tonka, musk, and amber. This is according to Fragrantica. So this is a long discontinued scent. It's compared to Smalto Pour Homme. It's compared to Basil Uomo, which I also love, and it's compared to Bogart Signature, the original. And so 3 fragrances I absolutely love. So let's give this bad boy a spray, shall we? Come on, sprayer. All right, the sprayer still works. That's a plus. Okay. Let's let this settle. Oh man, this is old school. This is right up my alley. Someone said I smell old school fragrances like I'm getting my crack hit. Oh wow, that is very, very good. Off of first spray, it blends that bright Italian citrus that they are so very well known for, with that 80s fougere type vibe very well. It's definitely in the neighborhood. It's in the neighborhood of Francesco Smalto Pour Homme, but this would not be the first fragrance that came to mind. Bogart's Signature may be a closer comparison. That's what Fragrantica says. I don't know if they're always necessarily on point there, but they might be more correct here. Almost like an Italian version of Bogart Signature, if you will. This is going to be fantastic in the summer for me. It smells very fresh. It smells very clean, although the cleanness, you can tell there's something lurking underneath, you know. There's a little bit of herbal dirtiness underneath, if you will, that comes from the it looks like it's going to come from the heavier notes like the patchouli and the oak moss and the leather and the vetiver. This is really good. This is classic old school. This is probably up there for some of my... I usually don't like these aromatic citrus fragrances just because they seem to just be a little bit too plain, a little bit too boring for me. Probably my favorite Capucci that I own is a very hard to find fragrance. And I was just seeing if I could find it really quick. It's called Punjab. Punjab is my favorite Capucci, hands down. That came out in 1979. I would put this below Punjab as far as if I had to rank my Capuccis. Punjab would be number 1. Art de Capucci would be number 2. And Capucci Pour Homme, which I used to own and use the entire bottle. Again, those citrus fragrances I just kind of spray away in the summer when I get those. That was number 3 for me. And I haven't really tried anything else from the house. I don't think the house has put anything out in years. Actually, here's one. They put out a fragrance called Anima Nera in 2017. How about that? So the house must still be in business. But if you like aromatic fougères, if you like citrus fragrances, if you like Italian-style citrus fragrances especially, check this out. This is, and the reason I bought 5 of them is, again, I got a little better deal, and I didn't really see many other sellers selling this fragrance. It seemed to be a little hard to come by. So for the summer, you know, if you like those bright, aromatic, citrus, Italian-style fragrances, you can definitely check this out. I believe the distributor on these is Waruska and Joel, which they reformulated a lot of the older style fragrances. They were the parent company or the distributor after, you know, some of the initial release came out. Like, for example, Alain Delon, when they came out with their original fragrance, it was issued by the house of Alain Delon, and then Waruska and Joel ended up being the distributor for Alain Delon's fragrance called Classic, which is supposed to be the same Alain Delon fragrance, but then they put Classic on it. And some people say there's differences. I plan on doing a, you know, side-by-side comparison ultimately for them. But the Waruska and Joel house is pretty well known as far as reformulations go. And they've done a good job. From what I smell, they kind of do a good job. They're like an older version of Inter Parfums, if that makes sense. Inter Parfums does a good job currently when they do these just, you know, everyday fragrances. That was Waruska and Joel back then. And Francois Caron, by the way, she was a woman who, I believe, she was Pierre Bourdon's first wife. So, you know, she had some training right there with the best, and she's done some amazing fragrances. I think I like Charles Jourdan Un Homme by her and Third Man by Caron a little bit more. This style, it's starting to turn into... it's starting to feel like it's just more of a citrus-heavy fragrance. It's a Schiffer fragrance, so I'm a little interested to see how much of that earthy dirtiness comes out, which I love. This might be a little too clean for me to put it amongst my favorites. But that's the Italian style. If you like fragrances that are very aromatic, very sharp, very clean smelling, that obviously this has some depth to it, but it's not it's not like you're wearing Diaghilev or something completely insane, you know, something with heavy stink to it. If you like the stink, if you like the animalic funk, let's say, this is probably not going to be your favorite fragrance because it's very clean, very citrus, very aromatic. There's an interesting openness to the fragrance, if that makes sense. It feels like the notes are spread wide apart from each other, which obviously it takes some skill as a perfumer to separate the notes like that. You know, it feels like you're smelling everything, but it feels like the mandarin orange is all the way over there. The aldehydes are over there. The rose is over there. You know, the oak moss and leather is over there. It feels very spread out. Which obviously that takes some training. It's not easy to make a fragrance like that. Very aromatic. There is what feels to my nose like this spicy carnation. It almost feels like a very masculine, old school, spicy carnation. But it's not a beast. I have Dior Homme Intense from hours ago here, and this smells like, I mean, as far as projection goes, this is blowing it away, and I just sprayed this. So this is, I'm going to have to see how this develops. Off of first spray, I'm a little torn. I like it. I liked what it initially did right off of the first spray, but then as it started to develop, it kind of went in that really citrus aromatic. It didn't go as dirty as I was hoping. I definitely, if I was comparing, if I was going to take Capucci Pour Homme or Art de Capucci or Smalto, for me, it's Smalto all day. Francesco Smalto Pour Homme would be the winner, but I had to know. I had to try it. I'm glad to have it. I can do a review on it one day, talk about it in depth once I've had a chance to give it more wear. So nothing earth-shattering. You know, that's why I want to kind of do these videos for you guys so you can see maybe what to go for, what not to go for. I'm not saying don't go for this because it is a good scent. You know, you are getting something that really does smell like quality, but it's in a style that personally, you know, I wouldn't go crazy over. But that's just my personal feeling. If you like that Italian style, the citrus fragrances, check this one out. This is one to definitely try, especially if you can get a good deal. This was 20 bucks for 10 ml, you know, and I bought a bunch because I got what I thought was a good deal. But if you just wanted to try one 10 ml, you don't have to buy 5 of them, obviously. You can get a good deal, try it, see what you think. You know, learning the fragrance history is all about getting your nose on as much as you can, discovering, exploring, seeing what you love, seeing what you don't love. It's starting to open up a little bit more. I guess if you like that, you know, if you like fragrances like, what would be a modern comparison to this? I don't know, Terre de Hermes maybe? I'm just trying to think what this could be potentially compared to. Definitely older school. If you like Capucci Pour Homme, it does remind me a bit of Capucci Pour Homme that's maybe a little bit more modernized for the 80s. I get a little bit of that DNA because Capucci Pour Homme actually came out in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. It's a very old Italian fragrance. So if you like those citrus scents like Chanel Pour Monsieur, check this out. This will probably be one I drench myself in the summer. You know, and it could also be a little bit of a trick. It might be something where it's not jumping out to my nose, but people around you can really smell you too. So sometimes that does happen. But for me, if I was going for something, you know, in this style, I would probably go for Francesco Smalto Porrone. So everything's not going to be earth-shattering. This was, you know, give or take. If you find a good deal, go for it. And these are the EDTs. I don't know if there was other EDPs out there, but you know, other fragrances in this same idea, maybe Enrico Coveri Porrone. That's one that just came to mind. You know, those aromatic type fougères. But this feels like it stays Italian. It stays, you know, very citrus heavy and very bright. And if you like that, check this out. For me, it's you know, glad to have it, but I would much rather go for Smalto Porrone. So anyways, that's my first impression. Obviously, I'll have a comparison video coming up pretty soon on Bijan Man. And I've got a couple other comparison videos. I'm going to do one on Jaipur. I've got the EDT and the EDP. I've got the EDP of Pietra alla Scala coming. So I'm going to do comparisons between the EDT that I have. That'll be here in the next month or so. That's coming from Enchante, Anuj. Thank you as always, my friend. So I have a lot of comparison videos coming up. Obviously, we'll continue our first impressions as new fragrances come in. And we will continue our This Year in Perfume and Perfumers portfolio and family portraits. And eventually, we'll start reviewing individual fragrances. So if there's any that you want to have me kind of put at the top of the list, do please let me know down below. So thank you for watching my first impression of Art de Capucci, and everyone have a good night. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another fragrance video. Bye-bye.